Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. There's a storm brewing in the AFC East, and this time, it's not about who's got the better quarterback or whose defense looks scarier on paper. It's about who just pulled off one of the most unexpected, spicy, and downright sneaky moves of the season. The Miami Dolphins have reportedly beaten the New York Jets in a behind-the-scenes tug-of-war for veteran cornerback Brandon Stephens, and the football world can't stop buzzing about it. You could almost feel the tension building all week. Whispers of negotiations, agents teasing interest, fans on both sides watching flight trackers like detectives. And then, boom, the Dolphins came out of nowhere, closed the deal, and left the Jets looking stunned. Stephens, who'd been a reliable defensive back presence in New York, suddenly flips sides in one of the most competitive divisions in football. This isn't just a free agency signing. It's a statement, and it's loud. Miami just told the entire league they're not here to play it safe this season. They're stacking experience, grit, and versatility on defense, and they're doing it by taking a piece right out of their rival's locker room. It's cold, it's strategic, and it's brilliant. You can imagine the Jets' front office right now, half frustrated, half blindsided. Reports say they'd been working quietly to re-sign Stephens, offering him a structured extension that reflected his veteran experience but still kept their salary cap flexible. Miami, however, played the long game. They didn't just offer money, they offered opportunity. Sources close to the negotiations claimed the Dolphins sold Stephens on a bigger role, more snaps, and the chance to be part of a defensive core that's hungry for redemption after a roller coaster 2024 season. The Jets thought they had time, that the talks were under control, but Miami swooped in with precision timing. It's almost poetic. The Dolphins, often criticized for being too flashy or overly reliant on offense, just made a move that screams defensive identity. Stephens brings not only consistency in coverage, but also leadership, something that the Dolphins' secondary had been missing since some key departures. And let's not forget the emotional impact. Facing your former team twice a year adds a spark that no one can ignore. The rivalry just got personal. What makes this signing even juicier is how it reshapes the dynamic within Miami's locker room. Stephens isn't coming in as a desperate veteran trying to cling to relevancy. He's walking into a team that's built to win now. The Dolphins have been one of the most explosive offensive units in football, but questions lingered around their defense, especially in the secondary. Injuries, inconsistency, and lack of communication cost them big games last season. Now, with Stephens on board, you can feel a shift coming. He's not just a corner who plays the man. He studies the quarterback, anticipates routes, and brings an intensity that elevates those around him. Players like Javon Holland and Xavier Howard are reportedly thrilled about the addition, calling it a move that brings edge and wisdom. Behind the scenes, there's already talk that defensive coordinator Anthony Weaver plans to use Stephens in flexible packages, sometimes on the boundary, sometimes in the slot, maybe even as a hybrid safety on certain downs. That's the kind of chess piece every defense dreams of having. The Jets' reaction, meanwhile, has been a mix of disappointment and defiance. Publicly, they're saying all the right things. Next man up, it's part of the business. We wish him well. But internally, sources describe it as a gut punch. Stephens was more than just a player. He was a steadying presence in a young secondary that had finally started to gel. Losing him, especially to a division rival, stings deeper than they'd like to admit. Jets fans are already venting online, calling it a front office fumble, with some blaming management for dragging their feet on negotiations. Others see it as a wake-up call, a reminder that in today's NFL, loyalty lasts only as long as opportunity does. And in this case, Miami offered both. For the Jets, the focus now shifts to damage control. Who replaces Stephens, and how quickly can they patch up that gap before it becomes a glaring weakness? Because make no mistake, the next Dolphins-Jets matchup just became must-watch television. As for Miami, they're basking in the spotlight. Every analyst, every podcast, every social media feed is dissecting this move from every angle. Some call it a power grab. Others say it's a calculated heist. But everyone agrees on one thing. It changes the tone for both teams heading into the next chapter of the season. The Dolphins have been accused in the past of fading when the stakes rise, of being flashy in September and forgettable in December. But signings like this one, they send a message of maturity. Stevens represents a bridge between youthful explosiveness and veteran discipline. Exactly what Miami has been missing. His presence allows the Dolphins to mix aggressive coverage with strategic patience, giving them flexibility against top-tier offenses. It's the kind of move that doesn't just fill a need, it raises the entire defensive ceiling. And fans are loving every second of it. Still, there's a sense that this story isn't over yet. The Jets are not a team that forgets easily, and when rivalries get this personal, the ripple effects go beyond the field. You can bet that when these two meet again, it won't just be about stats or standings. It'll be about pride, revenge, and the message each side wants to send. Stevens, in his first media appearance as a Dolphin, kept it classy. It's all business, man. I've got love for my guys in New York, but this is a new chapter. But make no mistake, those words hide a fire that's about to burn through the AFC East. This signing isn't just another transaction. It's a declaration that Miami wants the division, the headlines, and maybe even a little bit of the Jets' soul. And honestly, that's what makes the NFL so deliciously unpredictable. Behind closed doors, league insiders are calling the Dolphins' signing of Brandon Stevens one of the smartest power plays in recent memory. Not because it's flashy, not because it's expensive, but because it hits right at the heart of their biggest rival's identity. The Jets built their reputation on defense, on grit, on toughness, on outworking opponents. And losing a cornerstone like Stevens to Miami is more than just a depth chart shuffle. It's a psychological blow. It's like watching your ex start dating your best friend. You can pretend it doesn't hurt, but everyone knows it does. And the Dolphins, oh, they know exactly what they're doing. They're playing chess while the rest of the division plays checkers. This wasn't about plugging a hole. This was about sending a message that Miami's culture is evolving. They're not just chasing speed and highlight reels anymore. They're building substance, discipline, and defensive credibility to match their offensive fireworks. Word around team facilities is that Stevens' arrival has already elevated practice intensity. Players are describing sessions as louder, sharper, more focused. Younger defensive backs are sticking close to him, absorbing knowledge, watching film, and asking questions. You can tell when a team feels like it's turning a corner. The energy changes, the focus tightens, and the locker room starts buzzing with belief. Stevens, despite being relatively soft-spoken off the field, is known for his vocal leadership between snaps. He's the kind of player who gets in your face if you blow a coverage, but also pats you on the helmet when you make a play. That mix of accountability and encouragement is rare, and it's exactly what the Dolphins' defense has lacked in recent years. Coaches are already talking about how his presence is shifting the tone of the secondary room. It's not just about talent anymore. It's about standard. For the Jets, though, the ripple effects might run deeper than they expected. Losing Stevens has forced them to rethink their defensive scheme heading into the second half of the season. There are whispers that some players are frustrated, feeling like management let a key veteran walk without a proper plan B. It's not chaos. Not yet, but it's definitely tension. And tension in a locker room can spread faster than anyone admits publicly. The Jets have built a young, hungry defense, but losing a veteran voice can unsettle even the most disciplined units. Their upcoming games will be a real test of how strong their culture actually is. Can they rally and use this as fuel? Or will it expose cracks that have been quietly forming beneath the surface? Either way, every camera, every mic, and every fan will be watching. Because when division rivals collide like this, the story always gets bigger than football. Meanwhile, Dolphins fans are already envisioning the fireworks. Picture it. Week 12, Dolphins versus Jets, lights bright, stakes high, and Brandon Stevens lining up against his old teammates. You can almost hear the crowd roaring every time he makes a tackle or breaks up a pass. That's the kind of narrative that fuels rivalries for years. Miami knows this, and they're embracing it. Stevens himself has reportedly been circling those games on his calendar. Not out of bitterness, but out of pride. The kind of pride that comes from wanting to prove you made the right choice. And honestly, from a fan perspective, that's what makes football magical. It's not just about contracts or stats. It's about emotion, redemption, and proving yourself when the whole world's watching. The Dolphins-Jets matchup was already heated, but now? It's pure theater. There's also a bigger picture here. one that stretches beyond just Miami and New York. Moves like this one show how the balance of power in the AFC East is shifting. The Patriots are rebuilding, the Bills are recalibrating, and the Dolphins are seizing their moment. They're making smart, timely acquisitions that combine experience with hunger. Brandon Stevens fits that mold perfectly. He's not a superstar, but he's the kind of player that championship teams quietly depend on. The type who does his job so well that everyone else can do theirs better. And that's what separates good teams from great ones. Miami is learning that lesson in real time. They're building depth, not just flash. They're learning how to win ugly, how to control the tempo, how to finish. And in that sense, signing Stevens isn't just about this season. It's about building a sustainable identity. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? Still, as much as this move favors the Dolphins now, the NFL has a funny way of turning stories around. Maybe the Jets find a hidden gem who steps up in Stevens' absence. Maybe the rivalry fuels both teams to another level. What's certain is that the AFC East just got a lot more entertaining. Every hit, every interception, every sideline glare will carry an extra layer of meaning. Fans will debate, analysts will speculate, and somewhere deep down, both franchises will know that this moment, this signing, marked a shift in the narrative. And honestly, that's what makes football so captivating. It's not just about who wins or loses on Sunday. It's about who owns the story on Monday. And right now, the Miami Dolphins are the ones writing it, one bold move at a time. Meanwhile, speculation regarding McDaniel's personal motivations continues to gain traction, with insiders hinting at a mix of professional ambition, philosophical differences with management, and perhaps even personal considerations influencing his decision to step down. Analysts emphasize that while his resignation may appear abrupt, it could reflect a carefully calculated choice designed to preserve his reputation, maintain future leverage, and secure optimal conditions for his next opportunity. Rumors suggest that his network within the NFL, cultivated through years of mentorship under figures like Mike Shanahan, could facilitate a rapid transition to a new organization eager for his expertise. Meanwhile, sports media outlets are dissecting his past career trajectory, comparing his current decision to previous coaching exits, and projecting potential destinations based on compatibility with offensive systems, leadership style, and organizational philosophy. Fans continue to speculate wildly online, blending historical context with imaginative projections, creating a dense rumor ecosystem that is part analysis, part entertainment, and part speculative journalism. Internally, the Dolphins are reportedly engaging in strategic planning, evaluating short-term stability measures and potential interim leadership while assessing long-term hires. The combination of personal ambition, professional philosophy, and organizational dynamics paints a complex picture that continues to evolve daily. Each new leak, statement, or subtle gesture is amplified, feeding into the narrative that McDaniel's resignation is not just an isolated event, but a potential catalyst for systemic shifts across the NFL coaching landscape. Finally, as the story continues to unfold, experts suggest that the full ramifications of McDaniel's resignation will likely take months, if not seasons, to truly materialize. Rumors indicate that both the Dolphins and prospective suitors are engaged in a delicate balancing act, weighing immediate strategic needs against long-term vision, with each decision carrying significant consequences. Analysts note that McDaniel's availability could accelerate coaching searches, influence player decisions, and even reshape draft strategies, emphasizing the interconnected nature of personnel moves at the professional level. Social media continues to act as an amplifier, with fan theories, insider hints, and media speculation blending into a dynamic narrative ecosystem where every statement, photo, or social media post is scrutinized for hidden meaning. Behind closed doors, league executives and agents are reportedly engaging in extensive strategic discussions, projecting scenarios that range from immediate hires to multi-year planning, all while considering the impact on team performance, public perception, and franchise stability. The ongoing buzz suggests that McDaniel's decision to step away from the Dolphins is far more than a localized event. It is a catalyst for a complex chain of speculation, analysis, and potential upheaval across the league. The narrative remains fluid, the rumor mill relentless, and the sports world captivated, collectively anticipating the next development in what may be remembered as one of the NFL's most intriguing coaching sagas of recent memory. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.